Hey guys, welcome back to
Hey,
another episode of Any Last Words. I'm your host, Joe, and tonight my guest is Anthony Piseno. Welcome back, sir. Long time no see.
yeah, it's been a while.
It's
Nice
been
seeing
a
you again.
while. It's good seeing you
Yeah.
too. Oh my gosh. Real quick, hello to Emily Rose who's joining us tonight. Thank you for joining, darling. Um, we got some new fun stuff to talk about tonight. And for those of you who saw the ad with the little werewolf, I love werewolves. So I'm super excited to talk about this project you've got going on tonight. The Moonlight Feels Right.
Yeah, it's a short horror film that I'm getting ready to pretty much going through the pre-production right now to get ready to make. And we got the legendary Scream Queen Brinke Stevens as a part of the film. So I'm like super excited about that because I haven't had anyone of this caliber as part of one of my films. So it feels like, you're moving up in the world. And then I got a big cast, and it's basically going to take place during a prom, and it's about a young woman being bullied, kind of taking on. I keep telling people it's basically Carrie meets Ginger Snaps, because it's meant to be a little tropey. This film is actually going to be part of a series of films, and a few friends of mine are actually going to pull together a anthology, and we want all of them to be a little tropey. So they're all going to have a little bit of like Italian horror is one of them, and one of them is going to be kind of like the reminds me of Duel, the way he's describing it, like the old Steven Spielberg horror film Duel. And there's another one that we're going to do, but yeah. So, and I chose Brian De Palma and to go with the Carrie trope, and so it's tropey in that sense, but of course it's going to have its own originality.
Hell
And I'm like super excited about this, and yeah.
I know you were super, super excited for Brinks. I know you were like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
So I'm super excited for you. I'm so happy when other people are happy. I don't know, like happiness is so
yeah,
infectious. I love it.
yeah, yeah. It really is.
So,
Yeah.
what kind of research did you have to do for this film? Because I know you said it was like kind of a Carrie-ish, Ginger Snap kind of feel
Well,
to it.
I'm already super familiar with both films, especially Carrie, and I mean, most of the research I do though is like when it comes to the werewolf projects is werewolf stuff. So it's kind of like when I did Pray by Night, I watched a bunch of werewolf movies and stuff, and that's where the werewolf in the photo in my Facebook profile, that's actually the werewolf we used for Pray by Night, which was meant to be paying homage to An American Werewolf in London. This is going to be paying homage more to the Wolfman, but I want to do a she-wolf. So I want to have a female Wolfman, or wolf woman, I guess you could call it. I don't know. But that's what I want to do this time around. So I, of course, went through An American Werewolf in London again, because I don't watch it necessarily because it has like the right tone, because tonally what Landis did with that film isn't something I feel is in my wheelhouse, because he's very comedic.
Mm-hmm.
But I watch it to get inspiration, especially in terms of like how he utilizes the werewolf and how he makes it so frightening. And like there's these scenes where like his cut scenes are literally the werewolf snarling at you, and it's like it's different. Like no one else, I can't think of a single werewolf film that's done the exact same thing that Landis did. Like he just did something very unique, and he's not even necessarily a horror director. People know him as horror, but the guy, I mean, he did Animal House and a whole bunch of comedies.
Man, yeah.
He's really well known for comedies, and he says even to this day, people approach him and they're like, "Hey, the guy who did American Werewolf in London," and it's like he's like, "Dude,
yeah.
my resume is like 90% comedy," but everyone knows him for that one movie. And so I did research that, and I'm probably gonna take a stab at Carrie and maybe watch some of the not so good remakes, but just to watch them, because I think it's fun to watch those films,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as far as this film goes, what's been the biggest challenge for you, and what did you do to overcome that challenge?
Well, we haven't overcome it yet, but it's just the budget. The
Okay.
budget's always the big hurdle of any film. It's like you kind of just wait for the budget to come. Films always have a ton of hurdles, and obviously a lot of it gets taken care of if you do the right pre-production.
Mhm.
And with this film, I really feel like I'm really getting all my ducks in a row with this. I'm being careful at my casting. I drew up a storyboard, but I'm actually having someone else kind of make it even better so that we can really be able to tell and get my vision out there. I wrote the script in a way where I've always written scripts as if someone was going to read it and then buy it. And this is the first time I wrote a script where I was like, no, I'm making it. It's already sold to me. So why the hell am I writing it for someone else? So I wrote it in a way where it has like the shot list is embedded in the script. So when
Okay.
you read the script, you understand where you're going film wise, in the movie. So I wrote it like that so that we can actually, because I find that when I'm on set, we're looking at the script more than we're looking at anything else. And so I figure if we have the script and we have a shot list embedded, and I got the idea from my DP, Raul Cantu. He's working on his own short film right now called Death Lights a Cigarette. And it's, yeah, you got to talk to him because what he's doing with this thing is so amazing. I don't even want to say too much about it because like he's seriously doing something that's like, I'll just say it's incredibly unique to what anyone else has done, to the point that when he told me he was doing it, I was like, I wish I would have thought of that to do that because it's so cool. But yeah, he has his short film that he's doing right now. But I read I believe it was that script, and he had all this shot list stuff, all embedded in it. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I kind of got the idea from him, and I was like, that's like perfect to write the script that way because you're not selling it to anybody. You're trying to, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that was your question or did I like
No,
veer
that was
off?
perfect. No, that was perfect. I love the way you're answering
Okay.
questions because I remember the first time you were on, you're a little more quiet the last time you were on. This time you're just like, I am here. Look at what I've got going on, fuckers. So,
yeah.
Except for you didn't say fuckers, I did. So
No, you gotta get me. You gotta get me really riled up to start dropping the F-bombs.
Oh. Well, you seem to have a fan in the comments here. Julia Martinez or Julia Martinez. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong.
I'm not sure.
Wants to know who inspired you, if you don't mind answering the question.
To be a filmmaker in general, I guess. I grew up. So the thing is I grew up with movies, and my dad used to show me a lot of like Godzilla films, and then the Ray Harryhausen films. And I think I talked about this last time I was on here. I had to because I talk about it all the time. But anyways, but I'm such a big fan of like monsters and stuff, and but I would say like the filmmaker who's just, man, every time I think back, like I even had to really think about like, who am I trying to copy? Because every filmmaker is trying to copy someone. You're always trying to copy someone. It's just inevitable. And I was like, who am I trying to copy? And I for some reason, it never dawned on me. I've been trying to copy Spielberg. That's what I've been trying to copy this whole time. When I think of a movie, I think of Spielberg style. And I recognize that. So there's a plethora of directors that I love listening to, and I love their films. Tarantino's like my favorite guy to listen to. I could listen to him talk for hours. But like the guy I would say who like really inspired me to be in film or to want to do films is Spielberg, because he's just, he's a legend to the game. So he's kind of a typical name to bring up, but I mean, dude, Jaws is my favorite horror film of all time. And that's Spielberg, and like E.T. is this wonderful, wonderful film. It's Spielberg, and it's just over and over again, especially when you go to Spielberg in the 70s and the 80s. He's just phenomenal at that time. And even like the movie AI, a lot of people don't like AI. But I decided to revisit it, and I'm like, this is amazing. because Spielberg had a close relationship with Kubrick. He actually loved Kubrick. So when Kubrick passed away, Kubrick was like, I think like before he died or whatever, he had kind of wanted to pass the torch to Spielberg. So Spielberg was like, I'll do AI, and a bunch of people got pissed off because they're like, it's not a Kubrick movie. When you watch that movie, it's dark. That's a dark ass movie. That movie is dark. It's not simple. I mean, this kid is like reliving he gets to have his like moment with his mom again, only for it to be stripped away, and then he's like put in this stasis mode for it's for all of eternity, and he's like alive. Think about that. Like, it's a really dark and weird and strange film that's like dealing with consciousness and what that all means to be alive and what it means to be a person, and you know, that starts getting deeply philosophical, which philosophy is like wheelhouse. So I land in that, and then I'm like, so when I watched it, I was just like, I was blown away by it. And I remember the first time I watched it, I hated it. I was like, this is a crappy film. Yeah. I was like, what were you thinking?
I still love that movie because I think
I love it now,
and like ahead of its time too. At the same time, because I'm kind of a geek a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff that's happening now that is very similar to what was in the film. So it's kind of like, ooh, like a little kid in here.
Yes. Yeah, it was ahead of its time, but that's Kubrick too.
Yeah.
Because that's the Kubrick of the film, is it being ahead of its time. Kubrick was ahead of his time. I mean, guys appreciated now, but there were times where he wasn't so appreciated because people didn't know what to do with his movies. Yeah, Kubrick's the one I didn't grow to appreciate until I was much more recently. When I was a kid, I hated his films because they always terrified me, or they always to me, they went too far. Like Gomer Pyle, Pyle killing himself in Full Metal Jacket.
Yes,
it was when I was a kid, it was so disturbing. I didn't even like to watch the rest of the movie. You would get to that point, and that would happen. And I remember I was just done with the movie. I was like exhausted by then. And little do you know, like the movie carries on, it gets even worse. So it's like, it's an exhausting film, and like I won't even rewatch A Clockwork Orange. I like refuse to watch that.
You know, I've seen it once, and it was like not when I was a kid, but I think I might have been in like my early 20s, and I saw it, and I was like, this is the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, what is happening right now?
It's weird. It's weird. It's insane. It's a little out there. I didn't see it till my 20s too. Yeah. And the first time I watched it, I was like, this movie's disgusting.
Yeah, a little that too.
That's how I felt about it. And then I saw it again later, and I appreciated it more. But I still kind of felt the same way. I was like, Kubrick's one of those directors where it's like, I don't know how I don't know. It's being a different person, because he clearly was okay with those kinds of movies, and I would never be okay being on set, having someone run around with a ceramic penis, like in Clockwork Orange.
That was weird. It's like a giant one.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't be okay with that. I'd be like, this is weird. Like I don't know. That would never come out of my imagination.
Yeah, it was very bizarre.
Yeah, so.
Oh, and that is one of the scenes that's always stuck out in my mind, and that's when I go, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, this is so weird.
Well, and it's like really, has a lot of rape, and
that is a little.
Yeah, and that's touchy.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
In a nice way, I'll just put weird.
Yeah, it is. It is weird. It is weird. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, anyways. Richard says, just in time for giant penis talk. You've stumbled upon the right
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, don't be sorry. We do all kinds of random silly shit on this show, so it wouldn't be my show if we didn't do this stuff. So so with your film that you have coming out, The Moonlight Feels Right, what is your projected timeline for this? I mean, do you have one, or are you just kind of gonna play it by ear for the moment and just be a little lax and take your time?
I want to start principal photography, filming it in November,
Okay.
And as far as when people will see it, to be honest, I'm a little up in the air about that because I kind of want it to be a part of the whole anthology. And so everyone else needs their films made as well.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us want to rush anything. The only reason I'm the first one out the gate is because that's me. I get impatient and I move really fast. But as far as everybody else is concerned, you know, they're going to take their time, and I want them to because I want the best product possible. But there's a chance I could also release it beforehand as just its own short film on the side.
Okay.
But I'm like I said, I'm up in the air about it because there's a part of me that loves the idea of it being seen for the first time in the anthology, you know, as opposed to existing as a short film and then just sort of being inserted in. I don't mind that, but in this case, I don't know if I really want that for the film.
Well, you got time to sit on it and really think about it.
It's thinking ahead. You know, it's.
But I like the idea either way. You know, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm like in love with anthology films. Like I love horror anthologies. They're my favorite kind of films. Yeah, they're just so fun, and I've seen so many of them. So I really, really want to do a good anthology film. I've been really wanting to. So.
Nice. I can't wait to see like yours and then what the rest of them are going to be because there's always that. I mean, when you hear anthology, and especially when it's going to be like different directors coming in and doing their own, it's like, are they gonna kind of somehow connect with one another, or are they just going to be completely different? So that's always for me. That's always the suspenseful part of it.
Yeah, the early thought right now is for sure we're going to connect them.
Okay.
So we are planning to connect them somehow, but you know, and how that, I mean, I know how we're planning to do it, but you know, obviously I can't say, but yeah, they are going to be connected. Mostly they're going to be connected through a single character in each short.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So kind of similar to, I mean, not that the story's similar, but the way the way I don't know if you ever seen the 1970s Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With the guy, with the old guy. Yeah. And there's all these people that enter this room and he starts telling their stories, and it's like their stories of how they all died. Similar, you know, something to that, like that, where it's like single people and they're all being connected somehow.
I like that. I like that a lot. Real quick, Julia, I apologize again if I'm not saying your name right. Don't worry about that guy. I've already kicked him out and blocked him, so you don't have to worry about him anymore. He goes bye-bye because people don't come and do what they're doing on my show. This is my show, and if I don't like you, you don't have to be here. So don't worry about that guy. So I just somebody was being rude and she was concerned about it, so I was like, he's gone, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. So.
Rude to you? To
just
me?
Being a jerk, just in general, just being a jerk. So they don't have to be here. I don't tolerate that here. So
no,
we're not here for that. The only person gets to be an asshole, it's me, and you really got to piss me off to be an asshole. So. And you're golden, so we don't worry about that. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off and divert that conversation real quick. But no, I love that idea because it kind of also, not just the Tales from the Crypt from the 70s, but Tales from the Hood, how it was kind of that way too. Like it kind of it's starting to make me think of other films that were a little bit like that.
That's a good example too, Tales from the Hood. That first one's so good.
Yeah, the other one kind of went down.
Oh man! After the second one, I couldn't even watch the third one. And I watched somebody talk about the third one and break it all down.
I don't think I've seen the third one really. I think I've seen pieces of it, and I was like,
Tony Todd shows up in it, and it's weird.
I like Tony Todd, but
I like Tony Todd.
Great. I think he's supposed to be in like. I think maybe I had a dream, because sometimes I have dreams where I think I'm awake but I'm really asleep. So I get late for work some days. But I think there's like a new Candyman, or they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be in it, isn't he? Or he's supposed to be someone else in it or something?
No, I believe he. I thought he is Candyman in it.
It
or
might be.
it's at least his voice.
It's something.
It's something like that. I know he's involved with it because even when you watch the recent trailer, which the recent trailer kind of.
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer. I'm pretty sure I just read something about it the other day.
So the first trailer, I was like, here we go, yes, you know, they're gonna do Candyman, and then the second trailer, I was like, oh. It's like, I'll still see it because it's Candyman, but I'm just like, oh man, like it turned me off. It just wasn't what I wanted to see. I don't want it to get political, and it's like getting super political, and
that's what bugs me about movies anymore.
Yeah,
it's like, can we just not? We have to deal with so much of that in the world anymore.
I know.
It's like, can we just? This is our peace. This is our escape from reality. Like, you know, like you already need that.
Yeah, it's like you go online and there's already all this tribalism and everybody going back and forth and fighting each other, and then you go to the movies and it's like preaching one of those sides to you, and you're like, come on, like this isn't why people go to the movies. You know, they go to the movies to be entertained or to be scared. You know, to be scared, to all these kinds of things, and like I know you're just not going to do that, and. That goes back to an issue I have with like Jordan Peele, though, who is the producer behind Candyman, and that guy just really is. I think he just wants to make himself into a Spike Lee. He wants to be super political in his films, and he wants to, you know, make it about black issues and whatnot. And to me, there's just a time and a place for that kind of stuff, and it's just not. Like, don't go making a horror film that many of us have been looking forward to for the last 20 years or so, and do something like that with it. I mean, Candyman, just to like go on a little bit of rabbit trail, but to talk about it a little bit, that movie was legitimately one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. For like 2 years, I couldn't even shut the bathroom door when I would take a shower or use the restroom. And my dad would always get mad at me and yell at me for it, but I couldn't do it because I always thought if I closed the door, like Candyman would show. Like I was legitimately terrified of that movie.
Well, you had every right because that was based off of a true crime. A true crime story. Like that was because there was something similar that had happened. I mean, not that there was a demon coming and like killing people. There was somebody like getting through bathroom windows in people's apartments and shit, and like that was like, you know, in the projects and stuff, and that was, you know, murdering people and all this other shit. So it's like, I would be scared too.
No, it's just, part of it's the music, the tone of the movie. It has a very interesting tone, kind of like twists your stomach a little. Ooh. And it has this really interesting ending. And you've seen it, right? You've seen it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a really good film, and it's extremely underrated. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer to see a sequel that is going to try and get more political and take away from the original story, because the original story was already dealing with racism.
Yeah,
it really didn't need to, and this one's just kind of trying to add to it, trying to capitalize on some of the George Floyd stuff and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, like I said, I just like read a little like excerpt about it or something, and I thought maybe I had dreamt that. I wasn't 100% sure, but I want to go check out the trailers for sure.
Yeah. I'd check them out. Maybe you'll feel different about them than I did.
Probably.
But me and my buddies all felt the same way. We all kind of watched it and we're like, oh, come on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer when that stuff happens. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But we know your film won't be that way.
No, I don't like inserting politics. I like subtext. You know, I like philosophical ideas thrown in there. That works. But I don't like getting political in my films. My films are never, you know, meant to convey any type of political agenda or anything like of that nature. I just like philosophical stuff, and this film isn't going to be as deeply philosophical as my other films, but you know, it's going to have its own stuff in it and its own little subtext. So
I can't wait because I love my werewolves. I love my werewolves.
Well, I mean, tackling it again because I really want, you know, there's things I don't know. Someone told me the other day, they're like, you're never happy with your movies. So I'm like, that's true. Because I was going to say I felt like it needed to be improved, but it's like, you know, it just, I really want to redo the werewolf thing, and this, you know, especially after you watch a movie like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman, which is such a disappointing werewolf film. It's like you want to kind of do that, but do it better. And so it's like, I want to do that better, but there's things to love about that movie, like the kills and the, you know, the part where he attacks the gypsy tent, you know, that's really, really cool. And I love that whole scene. So there's some stuff that, you know, I really, really want to go back and tackle for this film.
Okay. Is there anything, we're almost coming up on our time here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share about the movie?
About the Moonlight Feels Right?
That you can share about the movie?
There's not really a whole lot I could share about it. I just can say we're going practical. We're just we're gonna go full practical. So we're taking an actress and we're gonna suit her up and we're gonna go all out on that.
Thank God it's in November or past November, because it's too hot to be wearing werewolf.
Yeah, for sure. So we're definitely gonna, you know, go all out and pull something like that off. And you know, I'm gonna try and go more gory than I usually go. I usually don't show a lot of blood and stuff, but I actually want to go kind of pretty gory in this. And yeah, so you know, it's just a cool little story, and it's fast. It's kind of fast paced, but it's meant to be. And yeah, it's gonna be big. You know, we're gonna fill in a building. We're gonna build our own prom. We're literally gonna build a prom. Have a banner up that says "The Moonlight Feels Right," because that's the title comes from the theme of the prom.
Okay.
And so we're gonna have an actual banner. I've already talked to a DJ, so I'm gonna have a DJ, and I'm gonna have seriously go all out and have people come in their dresses and their suits. And you know, one of the perks on the crowdfunding is to be in the film as a student or as a faculty member. And yeah, so you can be part of the film and just be, you know, one of the people attending that prom who's involved with the massacre. And because that's how the film essentially goes, is into a massacre. Here we go.
Sorry, it does that at around the 30-minute mark. It always cuts me out. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I did not warn you about that. I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just waited.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry, you're talking about it's going to be a prom.
Yeah, so I was just saying though that it just, you know, it's going to have a big massacre scene in that prom. And so, yeah, so that's the plan. And there's a lot going into this, and there's a lot of moving parts, and obviously a lot of people. But I'm super excited, and I feel like I know I'll pull it off, and I know it'll be really, really cool. And
yeah. Hell yeah, you will, especially if the werewolf's gonna look like anything by Prey by Night. Hell yeah, dude, that one was fucking gnarly looking. That's so dope. Every time you send me that picture, I'm just like, I fucking love that werewolf. I just want its head. I just want its head mounted over my fireplace. Like that would be so fucking dope. Like you know what I mean? Like how the hunters go out and like they put the lion's head. Like that would be so dope mounted.
Yeah, it's it's really cool. The way he designed that. I had asked for, I was like, basically, what if the Howling werewolf and the werewolf from American Werewolf in London like had a baby? And what would that look like? And that's what we kind of attempted, but we gave it a short snout because we figured be kind of like a female, and we thought maybe a little hyena like, because all the hyenas are dominantly female, so the female's dominant. Yeah, the males are actually extremely weak and don't do anything. It's the females who rule, and the females are the strong ones. They're the ones who fight the lions and everything. Yeah. So with the hyenas, yeah, it's an interesting little fact. Interesting little fact. But yeah,
that's pretty cool though. I had no clue, but you know, I guess you learn something every day. So
yeah, but that's why we put that in there. We were like, let's give it a smaller snout, like a hyena would have, because you know.
Cool. That's so cool. Well, if you guys are interested in supporting this film, or if you want to support it and be in the film, the link to the Indiegogo is in the description below, so you can check it out. I took a peek at it earlier. There's all kinds of perks on there. Yeah,
can
and it's
even
just
be in a scene with Brinke Stevens. So
get in there, my screen queen. So,
yeah.
oh my gosh. Well, we're at the end of this segment, sir. And thank you for coming back on. You got to keep me
Yeah,
updated on
thank you
what's
for
going
having
on with
me.
this.
For
But
sure, for
do you
sure.
have any last words for our guests or for our audience tonight? You're
No,
the guest.
no, that's it. I mean, I just I hope you can support us. At least if you can't donate, just share the link. I mean, really, that's all it takes is just getting us out there and just trying to get this werewolf movie made that's going to have amazing practical effects and going to be really bloody and fun. So
Hell yeah. I can't wait because I love me my werewolves. So
yeah,
well, again, thank you for coming on, you guys.
yeah,
Keep an eye out for the Moonlight Feels Right. Go over there and check out the links. Check out the Indiegogo. Get yourself in the damn movie. Go over there. Check it out. You know you want to. Come on. A lot of us didn't go to prom. So let's, go to a really cool one. Go to a better one than
yeah.
what we would have went
Cool.
to. So I didn't go to prom. That sounds like a really kick-ass prom. So all right, guys. Thank you for joining. I'm not trying to put my finger over the camera. I'm just using my iPhone. So, oh man, never mind. I'm not even going to do it. So, thank you guys for joining. And I'll see you guys later this week at some point. I don't know. I'll be around. I'm getting back. So, all right, guys, have a good night.